it for my wins. I need my ends. This life is real. Can't play pretend. Came off the bench. I get it in.
Today, GigaChads of the English Desk welcome you all to Valorant Challenger South Asia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are the GigaChads on the desk, and I'm going to be your GigaChad number 1, Necro. John alongside with me is GigaChad number 2, Crips. So how does it feel, Crips? Crips, my bad. Damn, I just messed up your name. But how does it feel, bro, to be a GigaChad? Let us know, man.
What do you mean, how does it feel to be a GigaChad? You know, GigaChad is not a feeling.
Oh,
it's a lifestyle.
Ooh, that's a statement right there. But guys, don't worry, we're not the only ones GigaChad over here. Every single person that decided to click on the English stream is a GigaChad as well. So huge round of applause for all of you because you guys decided to click on the English stream. But now, jokes aside, we need to get into some serious stuff. Today the matchup is quite heavy, man. True Rippers versus MLT Esports. These two teams are the alpha titans inside the scene.
Exactly, and now these two teams will be locking horns against each other for the first time. This is the day 3 of the tournament. We've already seen quite a lot of good matches, and I hope today's match is as nail-biting as it can be. The first day was a little bit of a one-sided affair. The second day was quite a tough battle, and I hope that this trend continues today as well. True Rippers have some nice imports in their team. MLT Esports have combined some of the best forces of South Asia together, and when these giants lock horns, I'm sure there will be shockwaves.
Man, these are not the giants, I'm telling you, man. These are the alpha titans of the scene. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are underestimating these teams. But trust me, guys, when you guys are going to see these teams in action, it's going to be crazy. Now, MLT Esports is another one of those teams that have a full Indian roster. On the other hand, they're going up against True Rippers, which have Filipino players. And not just that, even their head coach is a Filipino player. So what are your thoughts about that?
So let's start with True Rippers, okay? We'll give you a little history about what these players did in Philippines before they came to India. So Disrupt and RU, I mean, even Rabbit, their coach, all of them used to play for a team called Sky Empire. Now, these guys, throughout the course of 2021 and 2022, they tried to appear in the Champions Tour via the Filipino qualifiers, and they did get certain success. They managed to get into the top 5 quite often, but they did not get that cigar. They didn't get the victory shot that they were looking for. Even this year in Philippines, they tried to play for the Challenges series. They made it all the way from the open qualifier into the league stage. So it shows that they are one of the best teams in Philippines because they were able to battle through the massive hordes of talented players over there and make it to the main stage. But unfortunately, they finished 7th, which means there's no playoff for them. And because there's no playoff for them in Philippines, they are now going to try their luck in the South Asian Challenges League. Let's see if they can find some success over here or not.
I mean, again, you talked about True Rippers. Now let's focus on MLT Esports. And MLT Esports has one of those players that my eyes are literally locked on, glued on. It's Knight Rider. The last time I casted this guy, he was a part of God Particles, and now of course it's just completely scattered around. But Knight Rider recently has been playing Killjoy and Killjoy only. He's been the Sentinel main. So do you think, are we going to see some last moment changes, or you think Knight Rider is just going to stick to that particular role?
I mean, if he switched over to the Killjoy, I think that's going to be pretty sick as well. There was a time when he was the Chamber main, but, you know, after the Chamber got nerfed, he tried to go over towards the Jet. So he's very proficient with the AWP, but his choice of role will not determine his choice of weapon. In case of dire circumstances, he will pick up that AWP if necessary. And, I mean, you've been following this guy since his days in God Particles, right?
Yeah.
God Particles was this homegrown team which really rose from nothing and they became something. The Knight Rider has a rich history in his name.
I mean, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are all walking out on the stage, and all the GigaChads on the stage as well, they show themselves now. Even speaking of Knight Rider, and here he is. It's also quite interesting to see how many other players are there in MLT Esports. Rio and Battle of both used to be ex-Reckoning players at one point, and here they are in MLT Esports, ready to prove themselves again. The GigaChads, Badman, and Wimp also walking out on stage. Wimp used to be in Remnant Esports. He was their IGL throughout the off-season of 2022. Badman, on the other hand, has played so many roles across multiple different teams, and back when he was in MLT Esports, he was the Killjoy main.
Exactly, and not just that, now let's just focus on the head coaches, right? So MLT Esports, they have Rexstream as their head coach. We all know who Rexstream is. He was coaching for Global Esports back in VCC. And of course, Global Esports has had a fantastic run in VCC, of course, not just in 2021, even in 2022 start. So we all know Global Esports is quite fantastic. Yeah, it's a whole other story that they weren't really able to do that great in the international stages, but okay? But as we do move on over now, though, Rexstream is going to be coaching for MLT Esports. So this is quite huge. I want to see what sort of an impact this coach is going to have on MLT Esports.
Well, speaking of the coaches, it's quite interesting that Rabbit also is going to be here joining his team. So all these three players, Disrupt, RU, Rabbit, like they are from the same team in Philippines, and now that they are here in India, let's see what they can pull up. Let's see what kind of strats they bring to the table. A fresh perspective is obviously going to be amazing, but you know what else is fresh? It's this map Veto.
Ooh, let's take a look at the map, Veto. So, True Rippers are instantly going to start off the band with Fracture. Then MLT is going to follow it up with Lotus. Ascent! Oh, this is interesting. They haven't seen Ascent being played so far. So, Ascent will be here inside the first time inside VCSA. So, I'm quite stoked for Ascent, how this is going to be looking like. It's going to be True Rippers' pick. On the other hand, MLT is instantly going to pick up with Haven. We're seeing a lot of Haven being played, man. It's sort of like a comfort zone for a lot of teams.
I mean, Haven is one of those maps where you do have some scope of tactical intervention as well as brawling if things come down to it. Ascent, on the other hand, is more of a puggish map. So even though you might be able to predict who can win Haven, who can win Pearl, Ascent is anyone's game. Nobody really claims this map for themselves.
Ooh, okay, Pearl's going to be the decider here, so I'm really excited for all the maps, of course. And we were speaking about the players too, and you were talking a little bit about the Filipino players coming in from the side of True Rippers, and I want to elaborate a little bit more on RU. So again, he, of course, as you said, ex-Sky Empire player. All the players, and even the coach, they had. Of course, the coach was also in the playing fight for Sky Empire, but now is coaching for True Rippers. But, you know, just neglecting that fact and moving on over towards RU, he has been a controller main. So I want to see what sort of a role now RU is going to be playing. I mean, for now, he's hovering over Sova, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, he has, like, you know, a little bit of variety even inside the Initiator role, but I want to see if he's going to be sticking to that Initiator, or are we going to be seeing, okay, no, he's going to pick up Initiator. Interesting.
Yeah, what's even more interesting is that Disrupt has picked up the Jet. Back when he was in his home country, he was a flexible player who would sometimes play the Killjoy, sometimes play Breach, and was absolutely comfortable on all sorts of initiators. But now that he's the duelist main, it is going to be very, very interesting to see this guy in action. That being said, there are some inbuilt rivalries between these two rosters and some ties that bind each other. Benka and the other player in Militant Esports, I don't think I see him on the playing field today. True Rippers, they have a guy called Techno as well. We don't see him today, but Wenka and Techno, they used to be in the same team called Chillcord. And Chillcord was one of these underdog lineups in India who was making a name for itself. Of course, now that their talent has been noticed, both Techno and Wenka were picked up by True Rippers and Militant Esports respectively. So it's quite nice to see that all these players are making progress and moving up the tier list.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The first map, of course, off this best of 3 series. We're going to be kicking things off on Ascent. As we do know, MLT Esports is on the defensive half and True Rippers is on the attacking side. So I want to see how this pistol round is going to be starting things off, because we do see a couple of light buys coming in from even the side of Wimp and RU. Going to be sticking to the classics and light shields. On the other hand, pretty much the same stuff done even on the other side. So it makes a lot of sense. So I've seen usually this happen, is that you've got to give a little bit of more protection to the controller player, of course, considering they're quite volatile and they're quite important too. So if the controller is taken down early off in the round, so that's going to be a little problematic, because side take gets a little too difficult.
Yeah, but at least with this presence of the Omen on Militant Esports, Godlike can be in positions where he can play along with his teammates, and his paranoia can really help out stuff in the close quarters. ASTER, on the other hand, in the hands of Pixel, he's going to be more of a passive guy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. True Rippers pushing into its 3, almost ready to take a main for themselves. Flash does go soaring through, but Badman doesn't time it well. True Rippers getting all the early kills. Wenka was smart enough to push all the way towards A main to make sure that they don't get pinched. But his aggressive position also does not help.
Disrupt catches one player from that side. Rio's taken down. Now it's all down to Knight Rider, the KJ main player. We were talking about this man. Makes a couple of shots at the start, but it's okay. He's not going to be able to get a lot done. There's too many enemies in the front. And as we talk about the foes, here we go. The first round in the favor of True Ripper, starting things off on a great note. As we all know, if you are going to get the pistol round in the hand, that means you're all pretty much going to have a confident start for the rest of your game. True Rippers have started off on the pistol round, and if I'm not going to lie, a lot of people actually were thinking that MLT Esports should be able to win this series too. I mean, a lot of people are saying that maybe we're going to be seeing all 3 maps being played, but I highly doubt that.
I mean, whether or not this goes to map number 3, it's all going to come down to. I have always refrained from predicting who's going to win a game of Ascent because it can come down to just dirty brawling at any second. I mean, you saw how chaotic the previous round was, right? I mean, there were just trades left, right, center. It was a simple A-shot push, nothing too complex, but even that comes down to the wire.
Ooh, look at this. Knight Rider falls back. I mean, it's completely fine. As we all know, eco rounds usually are there for you to make a dent on the opponent's economy. Knight Rider falls back, lets the teammate take the control, lead the charge. Disrupt's going to be the man with the Vandal. The Vandal too, so that's kind of interesting. And he's just being face right on the face. Bad Love takes down Vandal Man. And this is just turned around. The tables are being flipped. The odds are now stacked in the favor of MLT Esports. No one saw this coming. Even True Rippers, they themselves are quite surprised. They've got some heavy weaponry now. True Rippers will need to try and pull this one out. And yeah, 13 round. I said eco rounds are usually there to put a dent on the opponent's economy, but MLT Esports just flipped the odds with them.
Yeah, they flipped the odds, they flipped the scoreline, and all of a sudden, the pistol round momentum which True Rippers had gathered, it's vanished. And it all comes down to the back of a wonderful stack. There was only Knight Rider who was guarding the ace site, and when he realized that he's gonna get overwhelmed, he just focused on staying alive, waited for the rest of his teammates to join in, and then they just jumped out of heaven, body after body, fight after fight. These guys feared nothing. They put their lives on the line. And man, oh man, the trades worked out for them. Now both the teams in like a awkward situation of sorts. Militant Esports, sure, they have the weaponry advantage, but if they lose this one, then they'll lose everything.
Oh, look at this. Pixels is waiting for the flank, and there's a chance that 2 players from the side of MLT will probably push out a main. But that's not going to be the case. They eventually fall back at the last moment. True Rippers, they've made the presence already on the east side. They've got a decent amount of map control, but Knight Rider doesn't exactly know what's going on near him. When player was shut down, he was able to sneak all the way in. Wimp is not inside the game anymore. That's a good tech from Rio. And True Rippers, they're just pretty much going to try to follow in, and yeah, that's what they're exactly doing. MLT, they're just stacking these bodies. They're just piling them up on top of each other. Venka's going to be the man to pretty much just be there. He's taken down quite low, so Venka doesn't want to take a little bit too much risk here. We'll fall back eventually. RU with 67 HP, a lot to do, a lot of dreams over here inside this round, but they're probably going to stay as dreams.
You better not wake up and find out that they were a nightmare all along. It's quite interesting what Wim tried to do in this round. I like it. He managed to go all the way towards the door of market, and that was a very brave push. It's not like he had too much backup, right? Most of his teammates were still towards B main, hanging back behind the smoke. What Wimp was attempting to do is get towards the market doorway and hopefully pinch the rest of Militant Esports as they try to enter the site. And he was also kind of hoping that they wouldn't detect his position. But then again, it's only in eco rounds when you can pick up risks like these, when you can make moves like these. So it's not too bad that it didn't work. It wasn't supposed to in the first place. Now that everything's back to square one, every team has all the weaponry they require, it's once again a slow push for the Rippers.
They're trying to take the mid control, and they have done it so far. And look at Venka, a little too aggressive, shuts down. RU does a fantastic job in taking that duelist out. MLT, I understand they've got the blood flowing, just pumping in their veins right now because they have been able to turn things, just do some impossible stuff in the previous rounds. That doesn't mean you just start pushing ahead of themselves. Nice flash. But MLT, eventually realizes that this might just be an invitation to their own death. And they fall back. Tree control taking back has shown his presence.
And this is so much information available to Rippers. At one point, Disrupt is all the way to his market, and he figures out where the remaining players of Militant Esports are. They gamble onto the A side, and it is the correct one. It's the less secure one. Trapped on an island, he's got no backup, but he doesn't need any. Takes down Pixel all by himself, and now this puts True Rippers in jeopardy. They can plant for the Heaven area, but with the lockdown being committed, True Rippers will have to either respect this lockdown and fall back towards Heaven, or challenge it towards A main. They choose the former, where Rio is ready to intercept.
Still 2-1-2. Rio. Some nice crossfires coming out from the side of True Rippers. Knight Rider all the way on the side. At least he's got the side control for now, but as soon as the fake's done, there are going to be a couple of peeks. Nice flash to peek out. Followed up with a peek though. Interesting. Sensei was trying to play that really patient, but eventually True Rippers, they managed to equalize the scoreline. It's a 2-2 scoreline for now. True Rippers, they're showing that they're not anywhere far away in this competition. I like his stance. He's not really leaning forward, just playing back, chilling, and doing his thing.
I also like that Militant Esports have taken A main control every time they feel threatened to its tree. Sometimes it's Knight Rider that pushes out, sometimes it's Batman, but every time Militant Esports lose control of A short or tree, they make sure at least A main is available to them. This reduces the number of post-plant positions that True Rippers can take. But in this round, True Rippers was destined to win. You have Disrupt all the way towards market. He's able to hear the footsteps of Militant Esports rotating, so True Rippers had all the info in this round, and they made the correct call to go tree, easily got that plant, and even turned a disadvantageous situation in their favor. Venka though, he's been punished on this push before, but this time he's a little bit cautious, not overextending.
So, one thing that is that for sure is that MLT Esports have learned their lesson. They have literally just stacked every single KJ utility near a tree because they know all the time the tree's control been given away just easily like that. So this time they don't want to let the tree control go away. Nice Nano Swarm activated. Knight Rider just showing that he is the true KJ main right there. Spots out the alarm bot too. Knight Rider knows now there's a huge party coming in from the side of tree. Being shut down. A little peek's gonna be more than enough for Aryu to shut this man down and roll a couple of big shots. Bad luck might just compromise with his life. He's taken down.
Nice.
Oh, what a peek from Bad Love. Shuts down 2 players on the site. Another one might just be there to follow it up. He's still alive somehow. How is he not being taken down? But eventually gets snuffed out. But that's gonna be a little too late for comfort. MLT, they sealed the deal on this round.
Sheesh. Lovely adjustments from MLT. I was kind of worried about Knight Rider over there for a second because he was playing a one-and-done position right across Generator, which would have been good enough to defend against anyone coming from A main, but he got the worst case of timing. The moment he peeked out, even though he had the utility advantage, there were 3 people in front of him. Instant death. But then again, you have to give credit where credit is due. That Omen in the hands of Bad Love survived for way longer than it should have. The one-way smoke came just a little bit late. If it came earlier, then maybe even Knight Rider would have survived that encounter. But it's fine because that one-way smoke bought Bad Love so much time and he did so much more damage because he was dead in the water over there. He was trapped. From that position, he shouldn't have been able to get all those many kills. But he still did.
Venka. Yeah. Venka and Disrupt both are on 1 and 2 kills. And both are the duelists inside the team, so that's quite interesting. They haven't been able to activate themselves so far, but it's completely fine. If your star players are not able to activate themselves, as long as the rest of the players are stepping up, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it also
at least,
seems like,
at least in terms of Venka, his position has been more or less towards the B side up until now. He's either AWPing or playing along with the Vandal over there, and sometimes he's making those aggressive moves towards B main. Disrupt, on the other hand, has been way more versatile. You often see him playing along with his teammates, but sometimes, like in the last 2 rounds, you saw him go towards mid-market. Now, he's not going to push out of there, but he will stay in that position to make sure that Militant Esports have some difficulty rotating, and even if they don't, at least the footsteps will be heard. So Disrupt can relay information to his teammates that way, simply because his positioning is so deep inside the enemy territory.
1 enemy remaining.
The side executes from True Rippers have been quite scrappy, to be honest.
Yep.
They haven't been perfect. They haven't been silky smooth. Just like the way we saw yesterday and even day before yesterday from the side of OG. So a couple of things are, of course, lacking in the post-plant plays, too. But one thing I like the compromisation coming in from the side of MLT is that they realized the tree control is being given away quite easily. So this time they focused heavily with the KG utilities near trees, and they try to delay as much as possible because they were just waiting for the rotation to be on the site from the other side. For now, there's some sort of a delay. We don't exactly know why this delay is extending, but let's just see what happens. Right now, the score line's, of course, 3-2 for everyone who's joining us just now.
Whew. I mean, they came in at the right time. No? If someone's joined in just now, they haven't missed too much. It's only the first 5 rounds so far. The first half of the first half also isn't done. And so far, both these teams have been playing really well. There aren't any palpable weaknesses for either side. And I'm pretty sure that they haven't even unleashed a little bit of their playbook. So far, they've stuck together. And whatever plan existed at the start of the pistol round is still persisting. The only few changes that MLT Esports have made is probably the placement of Knight Rider's utility. Other than that, not much has changed. And it's not like they have felt the need to change anything yet either. So
yeah,
until those danger bells don't start tolling, you don't fix what's broken.
I mean, to be honest, we haven't really seen a lot of cards being revealed, right, so far.
Yeah.
It's like they are just playing the basics pretty much. They're just trying to fix where there are a little bit of loopholes being made, but
yeah,
again, we can't really say.
Yeah, nothing too significant has been revealed yet.
Yeah.
All these strats so far have been pretty simple, and I'm sure they'll start adding variations to it and more complexity to it as the match progresses. But that's the thing about...
We can't really say much until we, like, just straight up go inside the mid pack of the game, because that's where the real strategy will start pulling out. Maybe in the second half, too. But you know what? Crips, we get a lot of time to talk about a lot of stuff now inside this tech pause, but because I don't know how long this is going to be lasting for, but let's just focus, right? Let's just talk a little bit more about these Filipino players and the Sky Empire and all that stuff. So, I mean, I saw a little bit of stats from their side. Argue and Disrupt, these two players usually almost used to be on the top of the, no matter what match they played, they used to be almost on top of the scoreboard all the time. So these two players have to be some of the best players in Philippines out there. On the other hand, if you talk about their head coach too, Rabbit, he was actually in the playing fight for that team, but now maybe he's sitting outside. We don't exactly know the reason why, but
I mean, their roles have the game started, but their roles have changed, you know. Aryu used to be a controller player, and now he's playing the Sova. Disrupt used to be a very flexible killjoy / breach kind of guy, so he didn't really have the duelist role, but now he's the Jet, and he has to go up against Wenka. Up in the hands once again. True Ripper's lucky to survive that encounter, though. At least they've figured out where the opposite is, so now they can avoid him like crazy. Will they avoid him, or will they challenge him even further?
Oh, nice shot! We're just talking about Venka, and he connects a quick flick onto that player. Didn't even see him coming on my screen, to be honest. That was such a quick shot. Argue is all the way on the other side. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of broken buys coming in from True Rippers. But look at this. I mean, every single player's just standing tall from MLT. Now even the turret contact's given away. Argue's positioning, so they know there's someone still inside B main. Madlove will peek out with a flash, but that's a little team flash.
30 seconds left.
That's fine, though. True Rippers, True Rippers is just playing in this really safe and sound.
Yeah. And I thought they would have what it takes to play aggressively and do something risky this time because they don't have anything to lose. But hey, 15 seconds left. They need to make it. Dying in the hands of the much better than dying alone. Oh my goodness, Wenka. He was struggling for the first few rounds, but now he shows up in such style. Sheesh. Show me a replay. I want to see that again.
Yeah, nice little collateral shot. He was holding such a tiny angle. A little pixel angle, and that's going to be more than enough for Wenka to react. I mean, that's the funny part, right? We're just talking about Venka. I said he's just sitting on a single digit. He's sitting on one single kill, and then he just does this with a 4K all by himself. Pretty much the MVP in that previous round. And as we all said, too, it were broken buys from the enemy team, so that means now we're going to see a pretty much neutralized round. We're going to see the Vandals and Phantoms in play. True Rippers with a timeout because so far the executes aren't really working out for them.
Yeah, True Rippers, at least when it comes to the executes, they found success in the tree region. Of course, Wenka changed that narrative with his collateral over there. That's going to be crucial for his importance because he lost some of his opening duels, and now after he performs like that, gets that quad kill in a single round, this is definitely going to boost him up. Plus, it also shows that Militant Esports are aware about the moves of True Rippers. That's why they're able to position the op accordingly as well. With a read like this, Militant Esports should be able to hold on to their lead without True Rippers getting too close. But then, of course, True Rippers also haven't really used much. They tried to go for a fake RU, tried to make turret contact towards B. It's not like Militant Esports are gonna bite it. And even if they figured out that it is not a fake, and if it's real, if they somehow
Get out of my way!
Militant can continue holding them. They have like a 3v5 advantage like that. Once again, a split approach. Disrupt this time, going much faster towards mid.
Venka? It's too cold. He's not able to hit that shot. Not warm enough this time inside this round. But MLT, it's completely fine. The teammates step up for him. Rio still on the site. Position no disrupt mid whips a couple of shots, and he's not going to be given the second chance. Venka, on the other hand, though, is as venomous as possible with that operator. Pixel moving in forward. Got 30 bullets in the chamber of this Phantom. But it's got a light armor to work with. Has a cosmic divide, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to utilize that. He will maybe try to get as many bodies as possible. He's holding quite an interesting angle here. The only intention this man has is to try and deal as much damage as possible to MLT.
Yeah, and damage has already been done. Militant Esports, they lose only Badman in the process, and I don't think it's too bad of a loss. Considering the pace which True Rippers picked up, one loss in the hands of Militant Esports is amazing.
30 seconds
and
left.
True Rippers, they really have been playing slowly up until now, right? In the last few rounds, they took their sweet time. Hell, in that Eco round where Venka got the collateral, the timer was down to like 20-something seconds before they started to make a move. And this was such a stark contrast to it. They start off hot towards the B main region, disrupt movement towards mid with relentless pace and reckless aggression. And how will the Esports respond to it? They completely give up mid. They're okay with True Rippers taking that space. Instead, they chose to reinforce the B site. They have 3 players towards the back of it already. The Oppo waiting towards the defender entrance. And it's not like Militant felt compelled to move in and pick up those fights inside the vicinity of the B site. They were more than comfortable holding their positions, even if that means their crossfire is broken. So, even without the strongest crossfire, Militant Esports held on to this round, held on to this assault, and True Rippers find themselves in an economic pickle yet again.
The economy has been a really huge issue for True Rippers so far inside the game. MLT, though, on the other hand, they're looking so comfortable. And look at True Rippers now. They've got a lot of abilities in the hand, that's for sure. They've got 4 ultimates available: Lockdown, Null Command, Fury, and they've also got the Cosmic Divide. If they want, they can easily take the site control. But even the opponents have a lot of utilities and abilities, so that's a little problem.
Can't use that.
Now the operator's gonna strike once again. Takes one down with him. They've got the second one too. If the shots were away from the Sensei this time, so not gonna give him the second opportunity. True Rippers, a clean site take, finally.
Sheesh. And it all comes in the back of that Null Command. Venka couldn't dash out after the first kill because he's silent, suppressed, Badman contact with flashes, and this just means that it's an easy side take. Now Knight Rider does make things slightly easier by removing Wimp. No more lockdown in effect, but it's still a 2v3. The odds are stacked against Militant, and Knight Rider's position is known. Started to clear out close angles, and it does help him. Badman strikes. Now they need to find out that RU is. They do it, and they're isolating the fights. RU has no say in this round. Knight Rider's being the bodyguard. The smoke inside. Can Bathov stick it all the way through? The shock dart gets him, and RU jumps in, commits his body on the line, and just gets it in the nick of time. Sheesh, that was a close one.
Yeah, that was a really close one. A really close one. I would say too close to comfort, to be honest. Shouldn't have went that close, considering the way you guys got the side take. Right here, this is an overcommitment from Wimp. Should have peeked out like that. But again, maybe he just didn't know that there was someone just waiting for him to peek out. And he got taken down quite easily. Knight Rider was the one who found the opening, but gotta say, the way every single player from True Rippers were able to from MLT Esports were able to isolate those duels against True Rippers. Impressive. Really impressive. But now as we do move on over another round, True Rippers were finally able to show some sort of semblance of life inside that one. So now they might just have a little bit of more confidence back.
True Rippers were hoping that by committing that Recon Dart and the Cloudburst, some of the Killjoy utility would be expended. but Knight Rider is ice cold. He doesn't use anything. Wenka is cold too. Jump peek doesn't connect, but he gets the legs, so Sensei is low.
Oh, still he gets that shot. That was a quick reaction, gotta say. Venka is just too good with this op. His reaction time's on point. This man reacts way too quick for a human.
Yeah.
But let's move on over. This round still continues. Now, there's a heavy presence from the side of True Rippers towards B main. The intentions are now starting to be really clear. They just want to execute this B main. Hunter's Fury utilized 2 to just stop them in their tracks and try and waste as much time as possible. They just want to get the rotation on the site. Disrupt's already made his entrance. He finds one. The second one will deny the entry. Knight Rider on the site. Knockdown's invested too. Knight Rider has too many players to deal with. It's a huge wave of True Rippers coming on his way.
Planted.
True Rippers taking nice and slow. They dodge off the 2. They send Disrupt inside, and the rest will follow.
One enemy remaining.
Ends up working out for them. Now, started it off in good style, but can't really finish it. It's quite interesting how Wenka's aggressive positioning towards A main gave Militant Esports a read of the round at the very beginning. Because he's so deep inside enemy territory and he sees nobody, it was kind of obvious for Militant Esports that True Rippers would come towards the B side. And Militant were prepared for this. They had a stack in the woods. Yet, despite the site being stacked, True Rippers are able to find their way inside. A couple Cloudbursts cover the entry of Disrupt, and the rest of them follow a little late, but it still ends up working out for them. Because they disrupt the Militant Esports setup so badly.
Attack count, but Venka needs to realize they're playing with the turret contact. Nice. Rio baited the turret out pretty much. Now they think that there's a Phantom on the B main. But they got no clue that Venka's just holding this angle with the op. Now they know it pretty much. Venka missed the first shot, but it's completely fine. It's not going to cost him anything. Maybe a couple of bullets, but that's it. Still got 3 bullets in the chamber. Wimp, on the other hand, he's already crawled up quite deep on mid. Batman seems a little aware of that.
And this has been the setup for Militant since quite some time. They don't really have anyone playing towards mid, but they've always got someone watching the defender spawn and watching if someone's crossing in towards market. Now, if Wimp plays his cards right, he can find the timing and get a kill or 2 in the transition, because Militant can rotate now. But the Rolling Thunder stops the rest of the Rippers in its tracks, and Knight Rider Rio double up! All the lurk efforts are now gonna be nullified. True Rippers find their way into the site. Jiggling across the smoke, it's Disrupt, using the darkness to his advantage, hoping he can catch fast up, but he's not fast enough, and now he's been revealed. A myriad of wallbang bullets are being thrown towards him, and he still gets another one! How on earth is Disrupt still alive? Time running out though, he needs to go for the plant, and it's not gonna be possible.
Still, valiant effort from Disrupt. That round was just perfectly calculated. Well read from MLT. That's a perfect example of just read him like a book. And look at him, just the MLT. We're just lining him up like it's nothing. The way the red came through, the Rolling Thunder instantly invested just right next to the stun. Perfectly played, perfectly calculated, perfectly read. That's all I can say.
Get out of my way!
Let's see if this read is good enough. This time it's Militant who take the aggression to True Rippers. A mid push along with Breach Utility. And Rio also showing his presence towards B main. They're both good for the kill. Each
One
the man
enemy
advantage now lies in the hands of True Rippers. It's just Knight Rider left. He tried to help out his teammates early in the fight towards mid, but now he finds himself isolated.
Oh, Knight Rider all by himself on mid. 3 enemies in the front. This looks impossible, but I've seen some impossible clutches from Knight Rider. And look at this man just moving in so fearlessly. He's giving all the sound in the world. He just doesn't care. All he's seeing in front of him is that trophy. All he's seeing is in front of him is that victory, and he wants to take it. But there's a huge thorn in the way, and he will be denied for now. True Rippers, I mean, this competition's getting a little too close for comfort.
Yeah. And True Rippers this time played that B site like a fiddle. I'm starting to suspect that True Rippers' preferred site is the B one because they found more success over here than on the A site. But in this last round, when Militant Esports throw everything, let's see how they can survive against the Odin's plan. Sova on an Odin towards the beach side. I mean, that combo is as dangerous as it gets. And that's why True Rippers are avoiding it like the plague. Fake sound of the op towards a bait. Hoping to get a big peek, and the flash works. Wenka falls back after getting a kill, and it's all good in the hood. Now Militant Esports can chill out.
Oh my god. The strategies, the mind games from MLT. Crazy stuff. They've also invested a huge no command now. They just want to go inside the sec no matter what. They just want to brute force it. Entry found, whip is still following. Another one goes down too, but what's going on? Venga, how was he able to do this? How was he able to pull this off? This man finds a 3K.
Spike planted.
And now Knight Rider again, once again, left with a huge responsibility on his shoulder. Pack knows that there's a lockdown. Hunters can utilize to counter the lockdown. Lockdown taken out the way. Look at Knight Rider, this man's just being so aggressive. Wants to take out no matter what. Wants to stop him in his tracks.
Back to work.
But Rio's there to trade it.
It is over.
Militant Esports, man, they're always a step ahead. I mean, sure, Venka's opening duel to get that pick with the op, amazing. Sorry, with the Blade Storm, amazing, along with the Flash from Batman. But you know what else is amazing? Knight Rider pushing out of B lane, clearing that region out, and this gives all the confirmation that Militant Esports need. They were aware about True Ripper's tree presence before True Rippers even made a peep. And the moment that null command came through, Militant Esports were prepared for this because they've faced this before, right? One of the rounds which True Rippers was able to win was when they used that null command to just death ball through a shot. And Militant were like, yeah, sure, go for it again. We've seen it before. We can counter it this time.
Yeah.
And all that countering comes in the form of Venka just disruptively pushing through that smoke. Like, on paper, he had no business winning those duels, but he ends up getting like 2 kills with the frenzy. Now, is that insane or what?
I mean, look, that was the first half, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back in the second half before the short break. Okay, it seems like we're not going to throw the break instantly, but okay, it's okay. So let's have a little talks about the first half, right? Things went quite interesting. Later on, things, of course, started getting heated up, but MLT Esports, the consistency they have been able to showcase so far on the defensive side, things have been looking quite good. But we still don't exactly know how the play is going to look like from True Rippers on the defensive half.
Yeah, it's kind of a concern because True Rippers, they were being read by Militant Esports quite well. Now, that's slightly understandable being this defender side. If Militant Esports can push out even in one of these directions while they're on defense, they figure out what the True Ripper setup looks like. That's just inherently an advantage that defenders have on a map like Ascent. But if they're able to replicate this in the second half as well, then True Rippers, they have some massive red flags around them which they need to address. I mean, let's just count on our fingers. There were 3 attempts by True Rippers to take mid control in like a lurk kind of way. Twice by Disrupt, once by Wimp, and they were all intercepted every single time. Yes, Disrupt did find some sort of success with the amount of information he was able to provide because, you know, he can just hear the footsteps of Militant Esports cross. So he was able to provide information in that way, but they never really made that mid plus B fruition come to life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Directly just jumping inside the second half. Maybe our questions will be answered. True Rippers on the defending side. As we know, 7-5 is the scoreline. Nothing can be said just behalf of that. Yeah, MLT do have a couple of rounds lead, but oh, what just happened? Veto finds the opening, and he's just able to follow it up. How is no one able to stop this man? But Sensei finally steps it up with a 3K, making it 4. He's going for the ace. Will he find it? And he does! Sensei! Inhuman performance! How does he do this?
He's been waiting for so long, man. He's been cooking all this time, ready to blow up in the faces of his opponents, and now when he's given the chance, he defends Generator with his life. Absolutely insane. That 0 point suppressed everybody, and nothing could move Sensei out of his way. Just jiggling around that Generator, destroying everybody's skulls.
What? He took the last guy down with only 2 bullets in the magazine.
Sheesh.
With only 2 bullets, Crips. That's insane. That's insane. Sensei did not miss any shot. in that clutch right there. 1v5, not a problem for Sensei.
here.
Just unleashes himself like a madman against the enemy team. True Rippers. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing is for sure, that we've got a game on our hands here.
Oh, definitely. The reactions of the rest of the True Rippers members tell you everything they need to know. The way Sensei just jumped up in euphoria, the way Wimp was like, huh, okay, I'm not going to help. Cool. Oh,
Ooh.
but Renka this time slaps Sensei cold, exacts revenge for what Sensei did in the previous round. He's looking to establish his dominance even further, going inside, gets the dink, but Disrupt still doubles up.
Enemy remaining.
Pixels converts it into a win. And there you have it. True Rippers still maintaining their economic lead, maintaining the momentum.
Still, the damage was done. Still, it was done.
Yeah.
So I want to see how the buy is going to be looking like. Probably it's going to be a little scrappy buy from True Rippers if they do want to ensure the buy on the upcoming rounds too.
One enemy
But
remaining.
oh man, I'm still not able to get my head out of that clutch. Sensei, dude, that was something you see rarely. It's like 1 in a million moments. And Sensei was here to pull it off. That should be in the highlights 101%. I want to see that clip just rolling around all over the place.
Yeah, I think this is the first days of the tournament, right?
Yeah, it is.
Grounded.
Wish. We are also stepping up. Sensei, are you once again not able to do much? And this is the first time Militant went for a super aggressive assault towards the defense side. Doesn't really end up paying off for them. But still, they are keen on fighting again. Look at the push coming out from Wimp.
Bomb grenade out.
The turret detects him, so he's gonna get pushed back. But despite having the man disadvantage, True Rippers do not want to pump on the brakes.
Here.
Contact play attempted towards A main.
One thing is for sure that True Rippers are not really scared of giving the duels. You saw 2 players peek down mid, they died. They're completely fine with that, as long as they've got the side control.
Yeah.
Disrupt, oh, maybe he just looked away at the wrong timing. But he comes back once again because the call's given away by the Killjoy that there's no presence on the B side as well, so you might as well just stat the A.
Yeah.
Knight Rider still there on
Can't
mid.
use that.
The lurk
30
is going to be
seconds
there
left.
quite late towards Tree. Stuns out every single utility being thrown against
One
True
enemy
Rippers.
remaining.
And now here we go. The opponents
Spike
are going to line
down
up
A.
once again. Knight Rider towards Tree. As I said, he was the man who was lurking. He doesn't know Pixels on the right.
Whew. That was quite a clean round. I honestly expected that the way Militant were flooding in one by one, I thought they would be mowed down by True Rippers despite having the man disadvantage. But Disrupt, I mean, there's only so much that he can do.
One enemy.
Pixel steps in, and that's amazing. The way he stepped out, it was incredible because he was playing this one and done angle of sorts towards the button region. And from that position, you can't really fall back if you are being targeted by 3 people at once or something.
It's quite interesting. I like the setup coming in from True Rippers. I mean, yeah, they're showing a little confidence with their moves. The Jets playing towards Binary, which is Disrupt. On the other hand, Venka really just wants to go for that orb. Nice little lineup coming in with the shock dart. Was able to successfully
Get
obtain
out
that
of my
orb.
way.
And clearly, this is... No, that Venka just wants his ultimate up. As soon as he does, he pops it quickly. Now, every single player from the side of MLT is going to rely heavily on that Blade Storm. If Venka doesn't find any opening, this entire execute is going to fall apart.
Yeah, but the execute's at least coming together for now, unless the 0 point finds them out. A main player is detected. The rotations from True Rippers inbound, but will they be here in time? MLT Esports, instead of going towards the side, they go towards heaven, and here they find Sensei very open, very vulnerable. Pixels now has to play ring around the rosies of this generator to keep himself
Spike
alive.
down
Luckily,
A.
Disrupt has found a gun, so this is a prime position for him. But no, Whip,
30
he
seconds
denies
left.
this.
One enemy
Not
remaining.
possible anymore, and Rio finds himself trapped. It was going so well for Militant. They got into the site, they almost had the plant in their hands, but True Rippers adjust so well.
Oh my god, True Rippers, they're just dismantling MLT on the defensive half. If you're seeing this, True Rippers is always denying that mid control. They're not letting that mid control go away because they know on the map of Ascent how important it gets. If you're gonna let the mid control be taken away just like that by the attackers, then problems will start knocking your doors, and they don't want to let that happen. They want to stay inside that comfort zone. They don't want to let the mid control go away. And True Rippers, everything, the way they've planned out is just working out pretty fine. On the defensive half, they're just dismantling MLT Esports. And MLT now with a tactical timeout because they need to find out what's going on wrong with their strategies.
Yeah, let's just hope this tactical timeout can fix things for them. MLT Esports, up until now, they have tried to attempt the same things that True Rippers were trying in the first half. You know, they show contact towards the B and middle side of the map as well, but then end up going towards A short and tree. Now, the key factor over here is when Militant were on the defensive side, they were responding to this by taking a main control. True Rippers aren't doing that. So, on paper, Militant Esports should not have this hard of a time against True Rippers, because their fundamental strats on defense were significantly stronger. But yet, True Rippers just somehow find themselves in these situations where every player can double up, triple up, multi-kills are awarded. And this is not some very fundamental strat or like a very cool big brain move that True Rippers are using to hold on. It's just how they play off of each other. It's just in the moment communication and trading. That's what Ascent primarily comes down to. Amazing!
Ooh, Disrupt. Aggressive start on this round. They've got them in control. Disrupt, what are you doing? Stop it! Oh, no answer being found from MLT. What is True Rippers doing? As I said, they're getting dismantled. MLT Esports, Knight Rider's able to sneak in though. Are they going to expect this flank from Knight Rider? Knight Rider's being quite proactive. He finds one, might just find the second one too. But no, was not able to do so. The proactiveness is there from the side of True Rippers, and they now know one man's also flanking in the back. The second one still not found.
No, I think they did spot Rio earlier. I think they spotted Rio before, and they spotted the spike as well. And so they know at least one of these positions. But now they have to be aware about Knight Rider being present over here. They were expecting him to come from behind, but his presence is known. Rio still holding the same position which he was like 30 seconds ago, so no progress has been made on that front. Knight Rider now must hold on to this area and clear a path for Rio, because if he stays alive, then they can probably get to the B side. Otherwise, they will both die here. And Disrupt is digging them a shallow grave. Doesn't have time to dig 6 feet. He's just in a hurry to get to the next game already.
Did you see that pop and swing? Aryu hits him with the pop and swing in the end. Just keeps it going. Doesn't let his D key go away. And what was this? Just W gaming all the way. He doesn't have the S key on the keyboard. He just doesn't. He's just, the only key on his keyboard is W, and Disrupt is just pressing that, using it as much as possible.
The flank
But
from
someone
Knight
needs to
Rider.
toss him back the S key.
Yeah, like imagine what would have happened if Knight Rider had the spike on his back. The whole round would have been so different. Disrupt has no chill. This man continues to fight even though there's like so much utility thrown at him. Finally gets traded out. It's about time that they dealt with this killing spree, because this man is creating problems for Militant Esports. Lockdown.
I mean, even if he got traded right there, it's still in the favor of True Rippers because it doesn't matter. They still have the site control. It's not taken away, even though they have invested a lockdown into it. What? Wimp! He finds one through the smoke. This is creating even more problems. But Badman's there with the trade. Knight Rider's position's given away. It's Aryu knows he's quite close for comfort. But Knight Rider's gonna fall back eventually. Timing's not good. The flash is there to follow it up, but the flash is a little too late. No command activated. That means every single player on the site's now trapped. They cannot utilize any sort of utilities. They're being suppressed for a while. All they will need to do is try and play with the aim. It's a 3-on-1 situation. Badman trapped in the backside with not a lot of HP to help him out with. Utilities flowing on his way. He's got the Rolling Thunder, but he will not invest in it right now. And yeah, another round secured underneath the belt of True Rippers.
And True Rippers really know how to just throw a spanner in the works for Militant Esports. Yes, they respected the lockdown, but the moment it popped, they start swinging out of the smokes from defender spawn entrance. They try to go towards the lane 2, try to lay down some suppressing fire over there, making sure that basically no member of Militant Esports can get in towards lane 1. And even if they do, it comes at a high cost of health and members. And this means that Militant Esports have lost the man advantage before they can even plant the spike, which basically sets up True Rippers for unparalleled success.
Off your feet!
Okay, that's a fast one. Rolling Thunder right off the bat.
They want to get the switch control. They were able to do so. It's really shut down the goal, but it's not going to matter. Look at the amount of utility even being flown from the side of True Rippers. Oh my god, True Rippers, how are they able to find counter to every single move that MLT is trying to pull off? And now once again, just left the two players with a huge burden on their shoulders. And man, will peek out with the flash. We'll only find one man flashed out, but it doesn't matter. The way the angles are being helped from True Rippers, the proactiveness, the quickness they're showing inside this defense.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
there's
amazing.
No crack on the wall.
There's no crack in the wall. I mean, these players, they have the world thrown at them, man. Look at Wimp, he's ice cold. He's pinged up by a drone. He almost got stunned by the Rolling Thunder. Has flashes coming towards him, but does he care? Absolutely not. He continues to hold his ground, just fights along with his teammates. And True Rippers, the rest of the teammates also are super proactive. If there are smokes that MLT deploy, they will be ignored by True Rippers. Get out, man.
Oh, that's a disgusting shot. Imagine the amount of reaction time you need to hit that shot, chat. I'm pretty sure you all know how difficult it is to hit that shot.
Yeah. Now you know why Disrupt moved over towards the duelist role. He was amazing as a flex player, but on this jet, he is a beast unstoppable. And even Aryu is backing him up again. If this drone tracks up somebody, then it's a confirmed kill. Never mind, Disrupt doesn't have an angle anymore. But look at the amount of control the True Rippers have. This part of the round, they've got mid-control. Nightmare and Batman finally put that to an end. Narrative will be changed, and he's run out of place. Almost just gets it in the nick of time. Whip comes out to help as well. And somehow, despite being trapped over there, Disrupt stays alive long enough to let his teammates do the wipe-up work.
What is this game?
Defenders win.
What was this game? The entire game was filled with aggression. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got the winners of the first match. And it's gonna be True Rippers. They win this one with the style of aggression. W gaming all the way. Mid-control never given away on the defensive half. And I just love the way they've been able to showcase themselves. And I just can't wait for Haven. Because so far, the way we've been seeing Haven being played, I feel like these guys have a lot of strategies underneath their sleeves.
Yeah, these guys definitely do. It was kind of funny to see Pixel fumble the water bottle over there towards the end, but the way he just held his thumbs up, that was cool. And that kind of sets the narrative for the game as well, right? There were primary differences in the way both these teams approached their defensive side. I mean, when it came to Militant Esports, they were more focused towards the extremities of the map, often pushing B main and A main, but these guys, True Rippers, they showed us what mid-control truly means.
I mean, guys, look, the first game, of course, True Ripper have taken in their hands, but we don't exactly know how the series is going to end out still. So, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the other side.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, gamers, once again to NODWIN's Valorant Challenger South Asia. The first game was quite interesting, W gaming all the way, but now the second game's about to start soon. As we know, we're going to be kicking things off second time on the second map, Haven. And welcome back, Crips. We are directly going to jump inside the Asian Select.
Yep, the first game was silky smooth, just like the ride in the Hyundai i20, and as smooth of a shave as Philips can offer you. True Rippers indeed were super smooth in that second half on
Yeah.
Ascent. They took mid control like it was their birthright. They dipped MLT Esports hard. Even though they had very similar strats when it came to mid control, the flash and dash with Jet was something similar we saw on Ascent. But now once again, Venka and Disrupt are on the Jets and they are heading to Haven.
Again, just to let you guys know how much of an impact Disrupt had in that previous game. He had the most amount of kills, and at the same time, he had most amount of headshot percentage too. 38%! That is insane, considering most of the time he was also using an operator. So he still managed to get 38% of headshot percentage. That means he was winning like, what, 60 or 70% off his duels. That is impressive.
Sheesh. And if he does all that with an op, then imagine how much can he do with a Marshal. Much less economic cost, and if he can connect to his heads again, then it just provides so much value. This time, going into Haven, the lineups are almost the same, except the initiator, it's Sensei playing the Sky, and there's Asowa on the other hand. Sensei was absolutely phenomenal with that KO though. He was silent for like the first few rounds, but then he took this one ace which silenced everybody. And from that point on, his confidence shot through the roof. He was never the man taking points for the team. He was never the man who was pushing the envelope, but he was just so consistent with the trading, always present at the right time and the right place.
Still waiting for the game to start, ladies and gentlemen. The first game had quite a fiery start, and we're hoping for the similar start even inside Haven. Maybe it might as well be. The agent selection is looking quite interesting. We have been seeing Haven being played throughout this entire VCSA, and we're seeing Haven being played once again. The only difference is Haven's being played this time on the second map. The first one was Ascent, of course. And if the people that are just joining us, they don't exactly know what happened on the map of Ascent, the scoreline was 13-7 in the favor of True Rippers. Oh,
yeah. And True Rippers were kind of consistent on that one. You see, everybody from True Rippers has somewhere around 13 to 16 kills. Disrupt had like somewhere around 19, so everyone's in the double digits. But when it comes to Militant Esports, you had Bad Love and Badman who were having slightly bad of a game. I mean, it's kind of a coincidence that their names both have that word in them, but they weren't able to show up as much as they should have been able to. So that's okay. I just hope they have the chance to bounce back in Haven. It does take a little bit of time to find your form, find your groove, and especially in a map like Ascent, you really can't confirm your dominance by any strategic moves. It just comes down to trading and a lot of in the moment decision making. True Rippers are having a nice watch party though.
Yeah, they're having a great time watching their players just battle it out, duke it out against some of the best teams out there. And I'm pretty sure this watch party is going to have the similar amount of energy no matter where they find themselves, no matter if they find themselves in a sticky situation. You always got to have some people who are motivating you to push your limits. And we're still waiting for the Haven to start, but look at the beauty of this car, man. Hyundai, thank you so much for sponsoring this event. Of course, this entire event's driven by Hyundai i20, so that's an impressive vehicle right there. But focusing on, once again, on the teams, right? The way they've been able to show the impact. Crips, one thing is for sure, that MLT, they're trying to bring a little bit of more like strategic approach to the game, but the aggression of True Rippers is always just not giving them enough time to execute it.
Exactly, right? Even though Militant Esports have the right read, even though their strat had nothing wrong with it, the fact that True Rippers can adapt that quickly doesn't give Militant Esports enough time to make moves in the mid-round situation. And sure, in the first half it looked like Militant Esports were in the driving seat because they were almost always getting a read onto True Rippers. The script kind of flipped in the second half. It was True Rippers who didn't always have the right read, but their reactions and the way they adjusted and played together was phenomenal nonetheless. It's not like True Rippers were trying to hard counter Militant Esports, but they came in with this philosophy of saying that, yeah, I mean, we're going to just execute our plan. We don't care what Militant is doing. We're not going to try to counter them in anything. We're just going to try to reinforce our own plan and just execute that without having to adjust. Why should we adjust? We should make the other guys adjust to our game plan. That's the kind of philosophy that True Rippers brought to the table.
this agent composition that we're seeing, right? Breach, KJ, Sky, they haven't really gotten Sova on their side. So I want to see this agent composition that they've brought over here. I mean, I'm not saying in any means that Sky is a little different. Sky is not that great as Sova. Of course, you can have Sky moments too, but Sova has a different sort of an impact when it comes to the initiator role. On the other hand, Sky, of course, it also has two different uses. You can use it, of course, it has a pop flash, or you can use the flash just to gain some information. Before now, let's take a look at the highlights from the previous game, and man, you cannot take anything away. I want to see that 1v5 from Sensei, that pistol round 1v5. That was one of the most eye-catchy clutches so far.
Oh yeah, I mean, when that ace clip plays up, I'm probably just gonna shut up. I just want to watch it. I don't want to comment anything over it. But that being said, even this little move from Bad Love over there was so crucial because it bought his teammates so much time to rotate in. If he didn't stay alive for that long, that round was probably never going to go the way of Militant. And here comes the Colat. Sheesh.
Highlights just, you know, they just give you a little goosebumps all the time with the way these plays have been going on so far. Both these teams are really giving it their best. I mean, you can just tell it by their play style and all that stuff. Knight Rider is always there too. I mean, one thing I love is that Knight Rider haven't left his play style. The way he liked to play, he's still sticking to that play style. He's still sticking to the roots.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Sensei has changed up his approach so much.
Yeah.
When I first saw this guy, he was like a duelist kind of player for RG Academy, and at that time I also had some ties with that team. But later on he left and he was a part of several other organizations, and now that he's found a home for himself in True Rippers, he calls himself Kaizen. I mean, I don't know why he changed his name. I kind of like the name Sensei as well, but that's his choice. Regardless of the changes in the name, he can still perform really well. And even though he has evolved in the way that he chooses a different agent now as he used to before, he can still kick so much. Just like, look at this.
Yeah. Oh, just look at this. It's just an absolute beauty. This man just made a whole art on the A site.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the artist, inspired by a Jackson Pollock painting, and instead of, you know, throwing paint around, he just paints it with the blood of his enemies.
Damn. Sounds pretty cruel, but at the same time, what we saw was quite impressive. And Disrupt, I mean, on the other hand, I mean, if you've got Disrupt and Sensei on the similar side, then what do you expect? An absolute destruction. Both these players, man, they're really just out there, out for blood. They're hungry for this win. And why not, right? Because this is the first time you're showing yourself on such a huge stage, the biggest stage South Asia's ever seen, so you might as well make an impact on every single viewer's hearts.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of making an impact, look at the amount of carnage that Disrupt was able to unleash. Keep in mind that even when Militant put on the defensive side, they tried stuff like this. You know, they had the flash go into its beam in, and they tried to send in their jet Venka to do some damage to its healing. But he was just simply not as effective as Disrupt was in that position. And because of that, True Rippers were able to deploy that mid supremacy so often. It's like they almost never struggled on mid at all.
And their rotations were so quick too, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like, okay, sometimes when the teams try to rotate, they just completely tunnel vision on their rotate. No, that was not the case. They were always looking out for flanks too. No one was tunnel visioning completely. Of course, the players that were on the site, they were tunnel visioning on the main side, but then later on, the players who were rotating in, they were always checking their bank angles too. And that's what matters as a team. Team play was looking pretty good, but in an aggressive play style. Haven is a map of 3 sites, and there might just be a little change on over there, as we do see the players, of course, comparison between Disrupt and Venka. Both of these players are the jet mains, and you can clearly see the difference over here. As I said, Disrupt had the most amount of kills and also the most amount of headshot percentage inside the entire game, so that speaks volumes for itself.
Yes, and you also need to consider the fact that these stats only show the number of kills he was able to acquire. They don't show how impactful those kills were. That's something you can only determine if you watch the matches. I mean, given the amount of times Disrupt was trapped in an uncomfortable position, or when he had like a myriad of enemy utility dumped at him, he was still able to hold his ground. He was still able to stand strong and continue moving forward, getting those kills without any difficulty whatsoever. So even though statistically he has only a few more kills as compared to someone like Wenka, you have to keep in mind that the odds that were stacked against this man were slightly higher. I mean, it was slightly more difficult.
I love his keyboard. I like his keyboard. Sort of, kind of looks like mine, but yeah.
Imagine having
pretty nice gear.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, you definitely have a nice keyboard and everything, but can you counter strafe properly?
Yeah, I can.
Good.
Listen,
Good.
I also grew up playing FPS games my entire life. All right, so
Yeah.
you can say
No,
I'm a decent aimer, but honestly, to be honest about me, I'm all about aim and no brain. I'm a W gang as well.
That's where the primary difference lies between you and me, right? I have terrible aim, so I can only rely on my game sense. If I pick up a fair duel against someone, I'm probably gonna lose. So I try to get an advantage in any way I can before I pick up the duel. That being said, I'm never gonna play a 1v1 against you. I think you're gonna win pretty easily. So. Plus, you've still got those young blood genes. I mean, I'm kind of getting old now, so.
Wait, how old are you?
25.
Oh yeah, you're getting old.
Yeah, in esports age, that qualifies you to be called a boomer. And of course, there are players and analysts and casters who are much older than me, but you know, at heart,
I'd say
you're
you're still out of your peak ages though. I'd still say once you go like 27, 28, that's when you can call yourself a boomer.
Hey,
But
listen.
for now, let's not discuss who's old and who's not, because the game started, the pistol rounds has started as well. A heavy presence outside C-Long. Every single player's just tunneling, every single player's just funneling towards C-Long, and they're gonna dash inside. MLT, they want a quick start, they want to take it to their faces, and True Rippers, they've already lost out on Wimp.
Sheesh. Wenka dashing way ahead of his teammates. Of course, there was supportive utility that was also deployed by Batman, but the fact that Wenka is able to win those duels by himself, especially when Wimp and I believe the second guy was Pixel, they both weren't completely flashed. That's quite
Last player standing.
nice attempt by Disrupt to go through the back lines, but it will only get him one for now.
That one might just be more than enough. Argue is creeping and crawling. His position's compromised. Catches a little dink on his head. He's being gushed up. Yeah, Rio will shut it down. Easily taking the first round in the favor. MLT Esports last time as well. They started off with a bang, but unfortunately later on they didn't really have a lot of boom left into themselves. They ran out of juice.
Well, whether they run out of juice or not is going to be a different story. What does continue to impress me is that True Rippers, the way they got into the site is quite uncanny, you know. For a second I thought they will be able to get the advantage because they got those opening frags required to start the retake, but the momentum just did not continue. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. Both these teams heading for a full-blown brawl. A 4-man defensive stack on the C side, and that's exactly where Militant Esports are headed. It's a trap.
I mean, both these teams are just so aggressive, man. It's like aggression for aggression. They're out here to get each other. It seems like a personal rivalry, to be honest.
Yeah.
And oh, the shock dart catches. Whip, as always, is just falling down, but unfortunately, this little aggression the Knight Rider was trying to bring to the table is being shut down. What's happening? They're really struggling with these eco rounds. Sensei
down A.
shuts down Badman again. MLT, how are they not able to get the second round all the time? They're on an anti-eco always, but they tend to lose it.
Player standing.
Just like they did before too. Venka finally puts a full stop to the story of Sensei. His fairy tale's not going to be cut off. But the problem is, both these players are quite hurt.
Yeah. Pixels has the perfect weapon to make use of this. A single shot should be enough to kill both of them. He's not making any noise. He's not falling for the bait, but he gets spotted. The trade comes through for Wenka. That was yeah, it was a bit too close to comfort, wasn't it?
That went well.
Yeah, I still feel like he should have played a little safer with that Marshall, considering he knew he had a marksman rifle in his hands. So he should have played a little, you know, far back. Because usually in anti-ecos, you're going to have Spectres in your hands, which are close-range weapons.
Yeah, also the fact that the
Last
remaining
player
players and MLT were kind of low on each.
One enemy
Kind of sets you up
remaining.
for success that way. But then again, I mean, you can't blame him for playing this way. True Rippers, they got it down to a 1v1 in the end. That's as much as you can ask for in an eco round. They're still going towards C. It seems like MLT Esports have their favorite site cut out.
Yeah.
And just like last time, they have Knight Rider who's trying to lurk through Garage. Now, in the previous round, Knight Rider was able to get all the way to the top of Garage window before he was spotted. Let's see.
What? Did
Okay,
he
Venka.
just... I think so. He misunderstood his teammate as the enemy. And he just shot 2 of his knives out. But, okay, well, knives are out, that's for sure. MLT, fortunately enough, his teammates are able to cut out some work for him. So that's a good thing. He doesn't have the knives available anymore, but still it's a 3-on-5 situation.
planted.
MLT, they have executed this site so far pretty well. RU doesn't find the sweet spot for himself, but Sensei is alive. He's pulled off a clutch in the past. Will he be able to repeat the history? The chances are quite low. He's got a lot of pressure on himself. He does have a Phantom working for him, though. Nice little flash. Now we know someone's inside the cubby.
Yeah, but with that information, how much can you possibly do?
Last player
Militant aren't
standing.
giving him anything, and when they do, they all peek at the same time. At least Disrupt's able to get the kill onto the other jet. But it's not like Militant are gonna give him any duels at all. They barely peek, and when they do it together. True Rippers, despite having the weaponry advantage, weren't able to deal with the relentless aggression that Militant bring to the table. And they've been doing the same for the last 3 rounds. It's just basically Garage plus C executes. Yes, the Blade Storm was slightly questionable towards the start when he fired at his own teammates, but he softened up the targets enough to let Rio get that shock down kill. So it's still cool. It's all good in the hood.
It's all good as long as you're getting those rounds on your hand. True Rippers still, they haven't opened up the bank yet. Nothing found in their accounts. Sensei, though, this time is trying to flip things around. Maybe he wants to be the change or the pacemaker for his team. Disrupt is quite low. Will fall back. Doesn't want to take it up close and personal. Does realize it might just cost him his life. Battle of knows there's someone close, but this time it's going to be a little too quick on the dink. Finds one. Now it's a 2-on-5 situation. Look at this. The tables have been flipped. The odds have been flipped. No one saw this coming.
And True Ripper started playing aggressively, thinking it's just an eco, thinking they have nothing to lose, so why not go aggressively? And look at what it's gotten them. It's gotten them almost the entire round. Batman has to clear out so much, even if he can't. There is supportive utility available for Sensei. A quad kill for this man. And once again, one shot of an ace. Sensei is on fire, and it's surprising that True Rippers can do more damage in an eco round as compared to their buy round. When they let go of their inhibitions, when they let go of their fear of losing their weapons and play so aggressively, it brings them results. And I think that's the recipe for True Ripper's success.
He's like the kryptonite.
Yeah.
He's literally the kryptonite for MLT. Just let Sensei unleashed and this man will just unleash hell onto his opponents. True Rippers, they're finally able to open stuff up for themselves. The opening they were really looking out for. They've been able to find it. Disrupt moving up quite close. Also marking on the way. MLT taking things a little safe and sound this time because they realized sometimes fire to fire is not the answer.
Yeah, I mean, MLT tried C 3 times, had success. This time they've tried something else. They lost it, and now they're trying B for the first time in this half. Stuns exchanged. Link smoked, and Militant Esports have already got to the side. But True Rippers respond by pushing down a lobby, and now they're coming back from the other side. Militant have no choice but to try fighting towards Link. They have no postman positions. True Rippers converge upon Militant before they have a chance to get into these postman positions. I mean, the moment Militant tried to go ahead and plant that spike, True Rippers just converged on them from every side. They pushed out of A main, clearing out lobby, clearing out the back window. They even pushed out of grass, which caught the mid members off guard.
One enemy remaining.
Dude, it's like True Rippers, they're just so proactive. No matter what, all the time MLT they're trying to bring onto the table, MLT, they're always just falling right on their faces. Because True Rippers, they're just so proactive, they're just so quick with their moves, they're not really second guessing themselves.
Yeah.
Scanning ahead.
And sometimes the second guessing that Militant is doing can actually do them more harm than good. Pixels now has to dance around this Hunter's Fury. dodge all the big bad laser beams, and he's done so. Not a single tick of damage done to True Rippers. Meanwhile, Disruption is already here. The dink comes through. I'm surprised he lives to tell the tale, and he walks away. Limping, yes, but Sensei can finish up what he started.
Sensei! The unexpected aggression's always just rewarding this man. Rio's there on mid, does know that someone pushed on up. I mean, there was a little back off, a fallback from the C site. And still MLT, they've got a huge question marks on their faces. They don't exactly know which side to execute now, but it does seem like B is somewhat grabbable for them. Sensei and Disrupt this time, they're going to start a push together. Oh, I don't like this. This is going to be an invitation to death. This is just going to be an invitation to death. I called it. I told you. I don't like this push. And Disrupt stuck.
30 seconds left.
At least Wimp is able to create a distraction towards the other side. This confirms where they are, but Ryu goes unchecked. He gets the kill onto Bad Love. And now he's just being such a pawn in their side, just trying to buy space. Discovers them both, runs the hell away. His life is more precious than this land grab. Very little time left, so Militant have to make a move. And Rio, he doesn't just make moves, he moves the earth under his feet, shaking up True Rippers to their very core. Ryu,
oh my God, what?
And he breaks through the clutch. Every single person in the server stepping up, man. Holy hell, these 1v2s across the board.
My ult's ready.
I don't know about Venka being too cold, but one thing is for sure, Ryu is too cold right now.
He's got ice in his veins.
Yeah, literally. And he's also got ice on his neck. You can see that chain. But Ryu, what was that? Even after he clutches, he's like, too easy for me. You can see in his webcam the reaction that he showed. Oh boy.
Plant the spike.
10 seconds left.
I mean, I thought the round was gone when Rio pulled it off.
Enemy remaining.
And then Ryu just draws them both into the same line of fire. Like, the amount of roller coaster dives my heart went through in this round is unreal. Like, the moment I think that Militant have a chance to win, True Rippers change the script and vice versa. Well, this time, though, Militant are going for that B creep up once again. They didn't find success last time. True Rippers converged on them from every side before they even had a chance to plant the spike. But maybe this time it will be different. Astra smokes deployed preemptively. But the rolling thunder is going to deny the spike plant.
One thing is for sure, they've got quite a lot of vital information to work with. It's going to updraft onto the main box on the B site. Disrupt did spot a little glimmer, but it was not able to completely capitalize on that. Didn't really get the kill in his hands. Still, it's a 4-on-5 situation, completely in the favor of True Rippers, as they do have the guns advantage too. All they need to make sure is that they're keeping their safe distance from all these players.
Yeah, the flash detects the A presence, and True Rippers comfortable giving up this A site. They know that the spike hasn't transitioned over yet, but what they don't know is that Knight Rider's holding the crossing. Maybe he can get Pixels on the way. Nope, Pixels too aware.
Spike
And
planted.
advantage solidified even further.
And that's
One
the prime
enemy
example,
remaining.
right? True Rippers, they're just putting them down in the grave. 6 feet under. Another round in the favor of True Rippers. Make it 4 on the scoreboard. And again, now True Rippers, they're able to win these rounds back to back. But one thing you got to keep in mind as a player, if you perhaps start taking fights that you shouldn't.
Is everyone's tech still working?
No, okay, I mean, in an equal round like this, it's fine if Militant Esports pick up fights and overextend. I mean, they didn't have much to win anyway. They didn't have the odds in their favor, so it's good to take up these risks in rounds where you don't have much to lose. But the fact that they can find the plant itself is a big enough deal, because True Rippers had them cornered. The Rolling Thunder blew them off their feet, swept them away, denying the spike plant. And even the last time Militant attempted a B plant, they failed. So at this point, they're starting to learn their lesson, right? I mean, if they've been unsuccessful in planting B twice, maybe they'll change their approach. But the fact that Militant can adjust and go to its A quickly again is good enough. Once again, A take attempted. This time it's not a contact play. They've already shown presence with the drone and the lockdown, but will they actually commit with this lockdown? Or are they just going to fall back and hope that True Rippers get baited?
Down, as you said, is being invested, so that means for now they'll get the site control in the hands, but I don't like what Venka's trying to do here. I am not a huge fan of that.
What?
Yeah, he went all the way into garage. Oh, so wait, that was a little fake, and now they converted that push onto a C tank. But True Rippers, so far they're able to read it like a bug. Operators a little too close to comfort. It's tough to find picks, especially when you're going to be on that. Oh, but he's pulled out the shorty. Will he get it? Oh, takes it to the face, but Batman saves the day for his team. Bad Love will also save the op in the end. Yeah, little smiles on the faces. That was quite a scrappy round.
Sheesh, though. I mean, I don't care who wins this particular round. Both the teams were on top of each other. That was incredible to watch. Militant Esports start off with the lockdown. True Rippers read it. They commit a lockdown of their own, fully knowing that Militant will move towards the C side. And look at the positioning from True Rippers. They were already present towards the defender entrance, towards the side, ready to intercept Militant before they can move in. Also, the fact that the Astra goes unchecked kind of swings the pendulum in the favor of True Rippers, but then it comes upon the shoulders of Badman, and man, oh man, his shoulders are broad and capable. Secures the win yet again, and this time he even secures the opening frag.
The opening they really needed, MLT. I mean, now the pressure is going to start to subside as they did get the previous round in their favor, and now also they've got an early edge over the opponent. Nice little tremor coming in to stun out the opponents. Man saw on the close. Nothing be taken away.
Spike down.
As I said, nothing be taken away. They're going to take the life of Badman. But the trade's there. Although, oh, the overcommitment. Argue shouldn't have done that. Should have just fell back instantly as soon as he got the pick. But Pixel is looking for someone else. 4-on-3. Man advantage clearly on the favor of MLT.
Yeah, but I'm kind of concerned about the True Ripper setup over here. Yes, they've got the man disadvantage, but their players are so far away from each other, they won't be able to trade. As long as Sensei can burn some time out and buy space for his teammates to rotate in, it should be good enough. And now he's got the backup of Pixels. Dash comes through. Pixel goes checked, pre-fired, and at least Sensei and him are able to convert once more before Venka finally drops them both.
Operator again, in the hand of Disrupt.
Planted.
But this time, maybe he might just have a little different mentality. Last time he gave the Operator away, wasn't really able to pull a lot off. But it's not going to be the case. Disrupt being shut down. Venka, this time it was too cold.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they don't pick up the op. Okay then. So it's just assault rifles across the board for Militant Esports. They deliberately don't have that op in
30
hand.
seconds.
Even though they have the option to pick it up.
Yeah,
That kind of tells you all you need to know about Militant's playstyle, right? I mean, they're not the kind of team that will go in for those hard-blown executes, but they're trying to knock on every single door, make True Rippers over-rotate, and then hopefully catch someone.
Oh wait, so I know what they're trying to do here. They didn't pick up the op because they knew that in the upcoming round, the only thing they're going to do is just take fights right on the faces.
Exactly.
Maybe complete W gaming. So that means the operator's not going to be pretty much useful for them. And at the same time, if they don't pick up the op, that means even if the player dies, they don't have to like
worry about
fear
it
in the back.
done.
Worry about it that the opponent team is going to have the op. So that's a little nice little decision coming out from the players and the IGLs.
And I want to add upon that. I mean, you mentioned that they want to just play up in the faces of True Rippers, and while that's true, it also indicates that they want to commit to a lot of different sides, try to build fakes and build fake narratives in the hands of True Rippers before they actually make their final move. I mean, you see what happened over here, right? They made contact towards C, they fired a couple of bullets, stray shots here and there, shocked out to break Killjoy Util on B, and now they finally attack on A shot. And by the time Sensei discovers their true nature, the site's already gone, and the spike plant is underway.
Plant comes in on the A site. Easily planted too. Disrupt's got the operator in his hands. Once again, this man is just not letting that operator go. It's like his life partner. Nice little cosmic divider utilized to completely cut off the short entrance and the main entrance. So that means True Rippers really do want to isolate these duels, but unfortunately they've got to face with this instant cosmic divide even from the attacking side. And I like this save actually. It's quite wise decision from the IGL.
Yeah, it's a wise decision from IGL, a desperate one too. I mean, it's not like he wants to make this move. It's not like he wants to go for the save. They would have tried their luck, but the odds are just so heavily stacked against them. The two cosmic divides basically turn Militant Esports like a sandwich that True Rippers don't want to bite into.
But True Rippers, at least they know now that the fight and the side executes are being a little too quick. That's why the operator isn't really coming into play. The one way to counter this is that send disrupt on the aggressive line and try to get an early advantage. That's when the pressure will be put on the MLT Esports. But let's see what they're going to do inside this tactical timeout.
And I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, True Rippers need to move fearlessly, just like the Philips One Blade, if they want to win. Keep in mind that the 3 out of the 4 rounds that they've been able to win, they were able to win only because you had Sensei and you had Disrupt playing super aggressively. Sometimes Sensei and Disrupt were playing towards grass. They were pushing out of the B main area, playing towards the bottom of window. Sometimes it was aggression towards A short. So every time that True Rippers tried to take this map control aggressively and they tried to just circle around their opponents like a boa constrictor, that's when they found success. So they have the recipe already. They just need to follow it.
And I'm pretty sure True Rippers, now they're going to take the op right to their faces, MLT. And MLT should expect this coming their way. They should know that the operator might just be a little too aggressive this time. So they need to be a little bit more aware. And they're going C long. And yeah, as I said, yep, he's going for that aggressive peek. He is. Followed up with a breach stunt too. Disrupt, he doesn't know how many opponents are right on his face too.
Oh
Misses
my God.
the first shot, but for now he's alive. His teammates need to try and back him up. If he's not going to make it out alive over here, then Disrupt is going to be welcomed with a lot of problems. But eventually Disrupt gets taken down. Oh, I don't know about MLT, but I read this like a book.
Yeah, and you can see how much True Rippers tried to rescue him as well. They had the breach throwing down flashes. Even the Astra smoke was put down by Pixels over there. And it yet did not help him. And now, MLT Esports, quick on their feet, are running towards the A site. Wimp tries to intercept them, but he gets greeted with a smoke and nanoswarm in his face, so he can't do much either. He's got no choice but to give up the site.
Spike planted.
MLT would always just say, "Oh, Wimp sneaked in!" This man's a ninja. He's been able to sneak all the way in under heaven, and oh, they're going to make it possible. They're going to make it happen. I thought this was next to impossible to take a take from a 3v5 situation, but slowly and steadily, True Rippers have been managed to crawl their way inside the site. Rio has some lineups available for the spike. The first shock dart comes in. Now he's also got the recon dart back in his hands. We'll try to use it for his teammate safety. Bad Love is so low on these HP. Pixel shuts both of them down. And True Rippers, they make the impossible happen.
Sheesh. I love Pixel in this round. Whether it's helping Wimp sneak in or whether it's trying to get Venka out of a very uncomfortable situation. I'm sorry, whether it's trying to get Disrupt out of a very uncomfortable situation. He first tried to help out that Jet on C long, and when that failed, he placed those smokes in a way where Wimp should have been able to get inside, and it is just incredible how Wimp uses his game sense to navigate around those corners, isolate those fights, and he cleared a path. As soon as he figured out that the crossfire that's helped towards Graffiti and Under Heaven is clear, the rest of the True Rippers members can also move in, knowing fully well that they don't need to clear crossfire, they can focus towards a shot, and that just took off so much load off of their mental game. Allowed them to focus. And now in the last round, Disrupt extending beyond his means, and Renka finishing what his teammates had started.
And I think so. The history is going to repeat itself once again. Crips, we're going to see a 7-5 half. The chances of that happening are quite a lot. And yeah, we might just see the 7-5 half once again. We saw it happen on Ascent, and we're going to see it probably happen once again on Haven 2. It's a 1-on-4. The chances of this clutch happening are next to impossible. Let's be honest. We got to be straight to the point here. Pixel's all by himself, and he's got a world of problems to deal with.
Yeah, the weight of the world is resting on his shoulders. He survived the first one of all back to heaven. But the timer, the odds, everything is against him. They don't offer him even an inch.
Oh boy, as I said, the history repeats itself once again. Last time too, we saw a 7-5 half in the favor of MLT, but in the second half, things were flipped. And we might just see the similar sort of attempt being done from the side of True Ripper once again. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a short break.
Hit for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wings, I get it in.
all-new i20, born magnetic.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the game. Hopefully this time the tables aren't going to be flipped once again against MLT.
You can even figure out that MLT had quite a lot of these rounds in the back because they were able to adjust faster than True Rippers. Yes, there was a time when True Rippers basically turned the B site into Militant's kryptonite because they were circling around them so quickly. But Militant found the antidote to their problem soon enough. Now that the sides have been flipped, True Rippers start off this area, start off the attack with a fast aggression towards B site. And they were able to defend the site very nicely in the first half, which kind of indicates that their post-plants over here were also just as strong.
Blizzard's out too, just to collect that extra bit of information and what's going on. Militant, they're just falling down, they're crumbling apart, but it's still a 4-on-4 situation. They were able to trade things out for now, but Bad Love's taken down way too low.
Last player standing.
And yeah, just a little peek is going to be more than enough to shut that man down easily. They were able to swoop up the first round in their favor. It's a good start.
Yeah, this is a very good start. And I love how they were just not sticking to the side at all after they got that plant down. They pushed in towards C-Link, started picking up fights towards the garage window. Even A-Link was well guarded. Most teams would just, you know, take the bottom of mid, play towards grass and play from mid window or something in order to establish their dominance in the postman situations, but not True Rippers. They go deeper into enemy territory, basically not giving Militant Esports any room to start setting up their postplans.
Speak about setting up the post plants. I mean, Knight Rider's just sitting on the seaside with a shorty, waiting to greet someone. But True Rippers, it doesn't seem like they've got any sort of intentions to at least go on the seaside so far. It's an A stack, complete A stack from MLT. They're expecting an A push. And True Rippers, oh, they're also going for the A execute. I'm a little scared for True Rippers there, I'm not gonna lie. Because 4 players stacked on single site. This might just be invitation for a little death for True Rippers. But let's just see how True Rippers tackles with this situation.
Well, just like Admiral Akbar in Star Wars said, it's a trap. I'm going to say the same again, but this time, Militant are hiding inside that smoke. And as soon as that smoke gets uncovered, True Rippers are going to get a flurry of kills.
And not even a single man falls down. That's a flawless take on the site. Knight Rider could have been spotted by the turrets. Sneak past in the last second. Oh my god, does he know?
It's fine. I mean, even if he gets discovered by the turret, he's only got a shotty, so there's not much that he can do.
Still, maybe he would try to get the consolation prize for his team, as you know,
Maybe
usually in
get an
eco
exit
rounds. Yeah, you don't really want to win this round. All you want to do is just put a little dent on the opponent's economy, maybe take 1 or 2 guns off of the opponent's hands. That'll help you out quite a lot. Knight Rider hears the footsteps approaching him. But no, every single one's going to be stacked outside. They know Knight Rider's here. They know it. Every single player's just waiting, and when he peeks out, there's 4 players just waiting with open arms.
That's the last thing you're ever going to see. So many people just staring down at you. Barrels pointed at your skull. And yes, despite the trap that these guys set up, True Rippers were able to find all the kills. The crossfire from Militant Esports wasn't all that great, but I can understand why they would choose a setup like that, you know? The flashes from True Rippers can easily break the crossfires and disrupt them. So they decided that playing inside the smoke would be good enough, because then they can at least play ring around the rosies with that default plant position and make it True Rippers at least a little uncomfortable. Did work. Oh, Wimp! Lovely timing. Campus went on the rotation, and this weakens Garage. This allows True Rippers to slip inside with no mercy whatsoever, but Knight Rider, even with his eyes closed, is taking names and kicking ass. It finally takes Pixel's overwhelming effort to get this side under control, but the spike's not been planted. It's dropped in no man's land. Rio had the chance to kill one more player on the cross, but now he's being handed this 1v2.
Oh my god, Rio, the last man left alive. 1v2 scenario, 1v2 clutch. Can he pull it off once again? Look at what they're trying to do here. They're expecting him to be out from the defensive side, from the backside. And yeah, the flash confirms it too. His presence is now known. We'll also reveal what the recon dart spots out one player, but he doesn't know the second one's waiting right above the log. He knows now they're stacked, but he can't do anything. It's a little too late. He needs to commit, and Rio taken down.
Yeah, it's really difficult to kill anybody in a double stat like that. One person above, one below. I mean, unless you have superhuman reflexes,
Unless
90% of the time you're gonna lose fights like those.
Unless you're 10s in Shroud, then it's a different thing, but we've seen him do that. Some insane clips. But let's not focus on that. Coming back to this game, Sensei is just top fragging. He's performing out of his mind. He's in his league right now. And what was that shot, Venka? A little glimmer, and then through the wall to seal the deal. Oh, Knight Rider. Oh, it's just disgusting plays all across the board. All these players are feeling themselves. They're in their element.
Exactly. But unfortunately, all these kills are in positions where they can't recover the weapons from. So Militant get their kills with their eco weapons. They get the advantage too, but guns, not quite yet. But hey, I mean, they're more than comfortable giving up this land grab. Look at the positioning of him. He's trying to knock on the doors of B, trying to get this needle to go in between the two threads. Meanwhile, the push from Rio to his lobby confirms Two Ripper's presence, and Wenka knew everything.
Like the presence of mind on both sides. It's absolutely incredible. Even if some angles left to check, the communication's on the point from both these teams. Disrupt dashes on the site, but a little bit too many utilities just on his way. Catches a little burst on himself, and now is taken down to 10. Event goes on a 3K. He's an unstoppable spree. And finds another one. Closes things out with a 4K. Oh, now Wenka is feeling himself. MLT, they've managed to nullify the lead.
And I've lost the number of thrifties that Militant have pulled off in this series. It's incredible how they can find their groove in situations like these. You see, when True Rippers tried to play aggressively in the Eco rounds, when they were successful in thrifties, it was because they either stacked sites or because they were super aggressive. But Militant didn't do any of that. They held their regular angles. It's not like they were stacking or playing aggro. I mean, one might even go ahead and say that they played their defaults. And yet, Wenka delivers, Knight Rider delivers. It's just cranium shot upon cranium shot.
And I like the timing on this tactical timeout too. I love it.
Yeah.
Because True Rippers know now they've got a little challenge ahead of them. MLT is able to read the strategies out, so True Ripper needs to bring something unique on the board here. But this also gives the players of MLT to have a little chat amongst themselves. The way they've been able to get those reads on the point, the way they've been able to sniff out those lurks. And look at the coach. Man, this man is just chilling out.
I mean, I'm not sure if he's actually chilling or if he just looks this way because he's super laid back. That's one thing about Valorant, you know, it's very similar to poker. You have to keep that neutral face. You can't show any signs of stress. Especially when these players are, you know, sitting right across each other when they can see their opponents right there. You can't show a little sign of stress. But Menka is a little stressed out. The man who was supposed to back him up, that man is gone, and Disrupt easy cleanup for him on both the fronts.
Got your
Most
trail.
realistic expectation here is that they're probably going to get the site control in the hand, considering MLT is already 2 players short, and both those players work from a site. There's one man playing on the back, but unfortunately the Seeker's giving the position away. Rio, what was that? The spray transfer. Insane from Rio, but it's not going to matter because Disrupt. The beast is awoken. And now it's going to reposition himself. They knew the Seeker caught someone on the flank, so they know Knight Rider's on the flank here. Good read from True Rippers.
And they're not giving him anything. They're playing in such a disciplined fashion. Knight Rider has to dig information out of such deep positions. And yeah, sure, he can place the turret. Sure, Wimp will probably trigger the turret. But Wimp is not showing himself at all. And Knight Rider is supposed to pick up this fight. So much time is gone and Vim's ready with the off angle.
It's like MLT, they want to have an early lead. That's why they're sending a couple of players in the front to try and get some early advantage. But always, True Rippers are just breaking free. They're ripping them apart right off the bat. Aggression's not working out, so that means now the second thing they want to do is probably just sit back, relax, and wait for them to walk into their crosshairs and maybe try and use some more tactical approach. True Rippers, every single man's happy in the watch party. They're definitely happy. They're having a great time.
Oh, is this gonna be a fast one? True Rippers just turning up the pace, turning up the aggression, diving into Seaside, finding it open. Excuse me?
What?
Did Knight Rider even show an inch of himself? I don't think so. There were smokes in the way.
Planted.
There's no way Vim should have been able to get that frag. And look at the positioning from this guy. He's always on the flank. At least Venka discovers him now. But it's still a 4v4 and he's given True Ripper so much space to work with.
But still, the way they got Ascent control, all I can say is perfection personified. And now they've also got the Rolling Thunder to delay. Oh my god. The amount of utilities that's being thrown on their way. Disrupt through the smoke. Cuts off Bad Love's lifeline. Nothing to work with. Venka too cold now. Needs to pull up some inhuman plays here. They're catching fire back and forth on both the side. Trades are happening back and forth once again. Tremors out. Concussion should find someone. But Venka is an unstoppable man on a mission. What? The defuse is stopped at the last moment. The clutch is made possible. Woo.
No, wait, it went through.
Wait,
Man,
what?
that came down to the wire. Wenka almost on the ace. And the defuse comes through at the last second,
Oh my
man.
God.
It's heartbreaking. True Rippers played this down to perfection.
Yeah.
They predicted the Seaside being empty really well. Wimp just on the perfect flank, making the timing play to his advantage again and again. And this man has been a thorn on the side of Militant Esports because they always gotta watch their backs whenever they're retaking C. Wimp has been lurking towards the B side really well, and he did so again. And through no fault of his own, Militant Esports just stick the defuse. They were so stoic in that approach. True Rippers, I feel bad for them because despite doing nothing wrong, the round just slips away from under their nose.
Grips my heartbeat, man. It's just off the roof
through the
right
roof?
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right here.
Literally, I mean, our heart's pumping so fast. It's crazy. This game, none of us, I'm pretty sure none of the people in the audience expected it to be so intense. But it is panning out to be quite an intense game. MLT Rio near garage posted up. He knows there was a little presence being shown outside, but True Rippers, those are all little distractions being made for them. The main strategy over here has to be to take the control off the A site. And look at Disrupt, he's just sneaking in slowly and steadily, but his lifeline's cut off instantly. He's not going to live to see another day. Venka, how is this man so cold? Venka is feeling himself, and no one's able to put a full stop to his story. He finds a 3K, just decimating the entire push, dismantling the enemies one by one. But it still ends down to a 2-on-2 situation.
Placing alarm bot.
Got enough time to plant this spike.
Area's clear.
Wimp committing. Luckily, he can't get pulled off the default area. The gravity well is available for Bad Love, but he probably wants to save it for a smoke. And look at the way they're playing this one. Both towards Graffiti and CT respectively, the Trailblazer clears out this area, which tells them everything they need to know. It's either heaven or long, and contact is made. Sensei has no choice but to fall across the other side. He's waiting for Rio to show himself. Rio is already low, but it's not planted for him, so he's gonna have to be very careful. Spots out the Battle of Bad Love.
What?
Okay then.
Not ready yet.
Okay then, Sensei. Okay.
Okay, I
Had
guess
no idea about the opponent's position, but he still gets it.
the RNG, man, running guns sometimes is just a little too good inside this game.
It wasn't
Especially
even
with-
planted for him.
Yeah, especially with Phantom and Spectre, these two guns, and even Stinger. These three guns are just so deadly with the RNG. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And yeah,
Lovely
True
adjustments
Rippers.
from Two Rippers. It's been a recurring problem, you know. Every time they try to take this ace site, Militant have a certain way of playing. They either play inside the smoke between default and shot, or they just hold shot down like absolute madmen, and it works out for them. True Rippers always struggle in clearing out that region. But the adjustments they made after planting that spike, that is truly something to write home about.
Venka, yeah, I mean, as I said, when you start doing pretty good inside the game, when you start getting too complacent, you start taking the duels you shouldn't. And that's what Venka did. I mean, he knew things are working in his favor. He knew the stars were aligned for him. But unfortunately, he got a little too confident into himself. And he gave his life away. And now they're also being forced on in considering that. So it's not going to be that tough for the players of True Rippers to get this round in the hand. And they've also got an early man's advantage. But that's why Night Riders waiting for them to fall back. The information should be conveyed that some of the players were rotating back. Now the C-side's not the executor.
One enemy remaining.
Look at where Wimp is. This is what I was exactly about to say. Wimp was just stuck all the way in their spawn. Oh my god, the lurks are insane.
Yeah, and this is not the first time he's been successful at lurking.
Yeah,
This
30
time he went
seconds
through
left.
towards A, but at least in 3 or 4 different occasions, not 4, maybe 2 or 3 different occasions, he's been able to get on from the B side towards Garage, and that has been so annoying to deal with for Militant Esports, especially when True Rippers are committing towards the C side. It feels like they can almost never have a peaceful retake situation because they're always worried about Wimp coming through from behind. So they have to then spend like 5-10 seconds re-clearing the angles, which they already had control of, by the way, simply to make sure. And that buys so much space for True Rippers. This time as well, they showed heavy presence towards the C side. Of course, the fact that Militant are on an eco and they easily gave away 2 opening kills does make life a little convenient for True Rippers, but in case the C hit failed, there were always insurance spots. Wimp was in A site well before his teammates on C started to fight.
Cosmic Divide being used. Cosmic Divide being used for the C take this time. True Rippers. Yeah, they're going to have a smooth glide inside the site. Battle of his position should be known too, as he was moving. And yeah, looks away for the flash and disrupt, peeks out at the same time. The timings are insane.
Nice.
Cosmic Divide. Oh, that was a fake. That was a fake, Crips. They've got the execute still waiting on the A site. But there is one man who's going to hear every single sound, and it's going to be Knight Rider. He's conveyed the information. The A take's there.
Yeah, but even with that information, there's not much you can do. Because even though that was a fake, the players that committed their bodies towards C are still on their way from defender spawn. And this will make it nearly impossible for Militant to go for this retake. Yes, this lockdown is in the right place, but it's going to get destroyed by Disrupt. And he pops everybody's heads off, man. On the words of Finesse, he's heading straight towards Wenka. And he goes in for the hunt. Wenka switches to the shorty, gives himself a lifeline. And now he's able to isolate these 1v1s.
Oh, they're getting a little too complacent. They're getting a little too complacent, Venka. This man is too good. This man is too good. The way he found the first and instantly switched on over to Shorty. Shuts down the second one, too, who pushed on up.
Nothing.
And yeah, True Rippers, they know. They've got the plant down. All they need to do is just play with the post-plants and show some patience inside the game. And that's what they exactly do. True Rippers with another round on the board. And that's going to seal the match point in their favor. 12 rounds on the board for True Rippers. They might just make it a 2-0.
This will be a very clean sweep up from True Rippers. At one point, when the scores was tied at 8-8, it felt like Militant Esports have what it takes to push this game into overtime, or maybe push it to map number 3. And at that time, True Rippers only had to worry about the flanking from Wimp, but this time, every single goddamn person in True Rippers is turning into the lurker. Aryu and Disrupt, the 2 Filipino players, committed their bodies towards the C side along with the Cosmic Divide to sell that fake. And they sold it better than any snake oil salesman that I've ever seen. Militant take a site, and then the others come through from behind. And this time, Wimp, the master of the lurk, is also the master of opening kills as he opens up the opportunity for it.
Oh, Venka once again back in business, just handing out haircuts. Sensei will be there to trade it out, but again, those bullets, man, those bullets of pain are just shredding through MLT. The trades are always there. What?
Did Knight Rider spot Sensei over there? I think he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Obscuring vision.
You did see them just phasing by. So this is known. You can see the crossfire being set up right here. And they don't know Knight Rider's right here. He finds one. He goes for the second one. Oh my god, MLT. A complete full stop.
It all crumbles because one angle goes unchecked.
Yep.
They assume that because they saw Knight Rider towards Garage that he wouldn't play from the tall box. And yes, sure, overlooking one position isn't as big of a problem as having that overlooked position get back up. As soon as Knight Rider was in trouble, his teammates just swung out wide. The flashes from Militant Esports were very strong, halting True Rippers in their tracks. And it's that amount of interruptive plays that keep True Rippers away from the site. But it's been a while since Militant pulled off something like this. They need to replicate this again and again if they want any chance of an overtime.
Get out of my way!
Minutes match point for True Rippers, man. How long can they delay? All True Rippers need is one more round to seal the deal. On the other hand, MLT need like 3 more rounds. Or even if they get the 2 rounds win, that means they're gonna need another 2 rounds in the OT. So
Yeah.
I'm
difficult.
still a bit worried. Yeah, it's really tough. Their path is filled with thick and thorns. But again, it's not impossible. It is doable, and it's been done once in the past.
The silver lining that Militant Esports have is that a full minute has passed, and they've got nothing to show for it. True Rippers don't have much map control. But the moment I say that, smokes are committed to either side of C-Link and A-Link, and the jet dashes in. B plot successful. Okay, no problem.
Standing ahead.
Well, I mean, he misses a lot of shots. RU with the Rolling Thunder is trying to delay and also maybe get some kills in his hands. But every single player,
Last
True Rippers
player
just being a
standing.
little bit too aggressive. The overcommitment from both the sides sometimes is just working against them. But eventually, Knight Rider shuts the last man down. They're still able to hold on, barely hold on to this round, barely hold on to this game. MLT, they're really fighting for this life.
And this time, True Rippers, their play was read like a book. It's kind of weird to say that True Rippers are the ones being read over here, but you remember what happened in that second pistol round, right? True Rippers started the pistol round by going towards B, and then instead of falling back towards the bottom of mid or towards grass, they went more aggressively towards C-Link and A-Link. And that's exactly how MLT knew that True Rippers will do the same thing again. All they needed to do was wait for True Rippers to aggress, which in this case turned into over-aggression because Militant was prepared for it. They made the adjustments, they learned from their losses in
Revealing
pistol,
area.
and now this gives them a lifeline. They're on the verge of sending this game into overtime. It would be the first
drone.
overtime of the tournament if it does go through.
Yeah. Venka's got like 25 kills underneath his sleeves. Crazy.
Yeah.
And this man is still looking to take it to their faces. He just isn't scared of the enemy. It's crazy. Even though they're on the match point, he still just wants to go against the enemy team. MLT, now they know the A side's completely taken over.
Spike
They're relying
planted.
heavily on this flank that they have going. But I doubt that they're going to get anything done with this flank. I mean, okay, if you've got Wenka, then maybe they're definitely going to get something done with this flank. Still, it's a 3-on-5 situation. Definitely doable. It's been pulled off a lot of times, and Wimp, oh my god, Wimp and RG. This duo is too deadly. Disrupt as well, still there on the site. Stun to follow it up. Nothing much can be done. It's a 2-on-2 situation. And RU now is going to be the last man left.
One enemy remaining.
What? What?
Absolutely nuts, dude. This man had no business winning the 1v2. The flash placed so perfectly. They could not see it coming. And another fact, they could not turn away from the flash in time because the Cosmic Divide blocks the sound cue. And that basically means that Militant members have no idea the flash is inbound. They can't dodge it in time because the sound is cut off. And everybody's blind as a bat. He's able to finish the clutch in such a stylish fashion, that too. True Rippers. My god. But credit where credit is due, man. When Militant Esports went in for that flank, True Rippers knew it was coming. The alarm bot detected the flank coming in from True Rippers, so they placed the lockdown, hoping that it would keep True Rippers at bay. But instead of waiting for the lockdown, they went aggressively towards A main, converted every kill, put the pressure onto True Rippers, and at one point Militant were in the lead. And there you have it then. That 1v2 clutch finally came through.
All the time, second half is where things were stolen away from there. Even on the first game and even on the second game, True Rippers on the second half, it's just something like they just turn the switch on and they just start dominating the entire game. And it's been happening all the time, and it happened once again too inside the second game. They made it a 2-0. A lot of people were speculating that it's going to be all 3 maps, but I was heavily doubting that. I felt like this series definitely has to be 2-0. And it was. And this time it was just True Rippers coming out on top. And it was an impressive game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I personally was hoping for some overtime action. It's been a while since we've seen overtimes. This would have been the first one of the tournament if it went through, but man, oh man, that breach just does not stop. Clutches upon clutches from MLT Esports, and such a wonderful performance. I'm sorry, clutches upon clutches from True Rippers, and it's just wonderful performance from them.
Dude, the flash and dash so many times was just working out. The combination was just so good from their side. Venka, though, gotta say, on the second half, he realized that his team isn't really able to step things up. So he stepped up for his team, and he was there to always get those trades and also kick things off on a great note inside the rounds. He was also giving a great early lead for his team, but unfortunately, sometimes it's just that, as I said, when you do find those initial openings, you start committing a little bit too much. And we saw a lot of the times overcommitment from both the sides.
Yeah, overcommitment issues did exist, but what's also interesting is that we are gonna get to see some of the tricks and tips from these players. We will see what's in their mind by interviewing them soon enough. And of course, you can always watch the stream on Loco for the Hindi stream as well. That's where the interviews will also take place. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out as well. That will give you a good insight as to what was going on in the players' minds.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, for now, that's going to be it from the English desk. My bad, I just said Hindi desk. But yeah, from the English desk, that's going to be it from our side. As Crips mentioned, if you guys wanted to take a look at the interview, you can always head on over to the Hindi desk and take a look at the interview and the post-game segments. But for now, this is going to be it from the English desk. It's going to be me, Necro, and Crips taking a leave.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of it, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong.